Good morning, everybody. Let's get some charts up here. Markets are starting to fade a little bit as the morning evolves. All right. So it was a pretty nasty day last week. Moved to the downside on the after the Fed's comments, taking away the punch bowl, the heroin, the liquidity, and markets across the board really took a hit. And we'll take a look at that. But anyway, look at the size of that down bar. And we've probably seen others that big in the past, but this comes after market's gone up for a couple of years and it's had a nice move, and certainly looks like the start of a move. So we do our factory work, right? And we look at different markets, and obviously just looking here at the S&P futures new contract. So you do the same thing. I didn't put that quite in the middle, but it's at the top of the prior day's bar. So it's arbitrary amount, subjective, just the middle of the bar just gives us, somewhat of a measurement to say, look, if it can't get past the midpoint of a wide range bar, it's weak. And sometimes they get a little above, but we look for the open and close to stay in the lower half, ideally in the lower third. And so it did that on Friday, it came down. Other markets, some little bit of support, and had a nice little rally, in the morning there. Went through some resistance and was up a little bit. And you see the 65-minute chart over here. Let's get this. And so this is coming down to this pivot. It's got a void. So obviously this was the big void, the big down day, which we reviewed last week, and spike back up, creates a void below. And now what do we need this to do, right? What's the factory work? So the move down, power move, suggests it's going to go lower. Well, here, and then can it form a pivot? Can it retest the pivot, maybe get a move back up again? Things that we've gone through over the last year or two or three. And so now same thing, power move back up against a bigger power move down, which kind of leaves us in limbo, so to speak. Which one is going to win? Well, you would think the bigger one is going to win, and eventually it evolves to the downside. So short-term power move up creates a pivot. This is holding the pivot. What's the pivot? 3 higher low bars to the left and right. So pivot highs, pivot lows, forming a little trading range. If it breaks here, opens up the door to moving down toward this area there. Shortened day tomorrow ahead of the holiday. I wouldn't expect too much, but you never know. So for now, does it hold here? As it comes down to that level, you can look at the 5-minute chart. It's bouncing up above it. And so as we go down and look at multiple time frames, resistance in this time frame, does it power move down? Does it stay in the lower half, back and forth, back and forth? And maybe we get some little move lower. Frenchie's funny. I typed in the social media thing there. What a beautiful day it is down here in South Florida. The weather is just, what you hope and wait for down here, where there's virtually little to no humidity. In the mornings here, it's in the 60s. It gets up into the middle 70s or so, and it's just beautiful. It says you'll have some snow sent to me shortly. I've had plenty of my snow when I lived in New York for forever, so I've had enough of that and don't want any, but appreciate the offer. Right. All right, so we've got a reversal day, midpoint, looks like go down, and I suspect something more of a trading range, kind of choppy, kind of price action ahead of the holiday. Weekly is still in an uptrend. but it made a new high, little breakout bar failure that occurred there. And, down it went, the 20 MA there equal to the 100 on the daily. You can see my cursor on the daily chart, that pivot there to the left. And so a little wider range of playing some ping pong there. All right. So there's your S&Ps, Qs. That's where the strength was. Similar pattern intraday. Power move up above this pivot, didn't come down there. Uptrend on the weekly, big wet, nasty reversal there. Same 5-minute bar. Diamonds. So I did a little, review in the advisory letter and a bunch of stuff. But one of the things that was in the news was the Dow goes down 10 days in a row. It's been 50 years since the Dow went down 10 days in a row without a green bar. And I thought to myself, that's interesting. Let me go back and look what happened 50 years ago. So if you'd like to know, log on to the website and go look at the chart of the week. It's there. And I show the comparison. Anyway, so 10 days in a row, wide range bar into an area of support, creates a thought. Wide range bar ending. Okay. Ending what? Does that end the move completely? I don't think so. Uptrend, higher high, collapse, deep retracement, breaks major support, down to the next level, jiggling around here, and the Dow looks like it's already saying, I'm not waiting for the rest of you guys. I'm heading lower. And so down we go. And we'll see where it stops. Price void. Lastly, we look at the Russell. And this one probably has the least probability of going down significantly. I don't think any of them going down significantly just because of the holiday. But anyway, similar situation, move up. This one didn't take out resistance, stopped there sideways. It's rolling over a little bit. So far, it's holding this pivot. All right. Interest rates are up a little bit here. Here's the 10-year, part of the culprit, putting pressure on the market. Remember a few weeks ago, as we looked at this move up and then reversal down, breaking through the moving averages, we're like, this thing's going down. Okay. And this is why you need stops, right? As convincing as something might look, that it could go lower down to the next support level. This thing just turned around. Look at that bottoming tail bar and up it went. And the markets are like, what is going on here? Right. And so new concerns of inflation. Does the Fed ever get to 2%? Will they, of course, the comments last week, maybe not so many cuts. And now there's speculation, will there be any cuts? And, so the markets took a dive. And a lot of things took a dive. If you start looking around at the price of coal and wood and not precious metals so much, but industrial metals and chemicals, they all collapsed. These are bad signs. All, we reviewed in the advisory letter. So, 225, as we look at these different patterns, and so it's just, kind of rubs against human nature to form a bias about something and then something challenge that bias. So here's a monthly chart of the Dow, right? And yeah, this is extended. It needs to correct to where? So in a short-term basis, it could correct a lot. But the good part about this is look at this big bottom that formed, right, over those several years, right? Here's, the coronavirus disaster. More and more news is coming out about this thing. Politicians are so full of shit, excuse my language. So many people are going to jail. They're going to do this, they're going to do that. There's just a bunch of jaw jabbering that goes most of the time that goes nowhere. But this stuff that's coming out about this coronavirus and this Fauci and all the things that happened, somebody needs to go to jail for sure. Anyway, back to the markets. Look at this big bottom that took several years to form. And it breaks down to minor support and it springs back up again and consolidates in a wide range bar igniting. So, this is a monthly chart and we're getting this reversal down. And of course, that is suggestive that, look, we're either going to have a period of a wide trading range where things are going to slop around for a while. It's going to go lower and test some support. Something that I heard many years ago, I forget who said it, and it was like, wow, how could somebody say something like that? And the guy said, the market's going to go up forever. And I'm like, what? And you think about the rotation and how they take one stock out of the Dow and they put another strong one in. And, it's like, yeah, the market will go up forever because it's manipulated. And so there's going to be a correction. It's just due. And this is I believe, the beginning of a move and so on. But eventually, somewhere down here, it'll bottom out next year and, or it'll have an extended whatever it's going to be, is going to be. I don't know. But we will do the work the factory work, as we call it, to assess what is happening on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month basis to pick our spots. All right. So back to today. Spiders. Wide range bar down. There's an unfilled gap down here, just waiting to get filled. This week, next week, I believe it's going to get filled. Of course, does it stay in the lower half of the wide range bar? Prices now below the 20, cut under the 50, so on and so forth. As it gets down there, we'll see if it holds, probably will. And there's another unfilled gap down here. There's your void, and step by step, right? All right. SPX, again, these things move. Okay. Unfilled gap. Today's strikes under the 50. Major support down here. So if this hangs down here a couple of days, all right, going to fill this gap, and then the next major support level, and from there we just see what happens. Raul's asked, do you guys like to trade on the hourly time frame also? Well, we 100% use the hourly time frame for analysis, right? So when things are messy, so to speak, where the daily chart is more erratic, or prices have come down or gone up for an extended period of time, the hourly or 65-minute is the go-to time frame to recognize bases, head and shoulders tops, head and shoulders bottoms, W bottoms, and M tops, and so on. And from there, you create a bias. And then you have a choice. Go trade your bias on the 15 or the 5. The 5 is my time frame of choice. But yes, the 65-minute, why 65? Just equal bars, right? Instead of a half-hour bar at the beginning or the end. And from there, yeah, absolutely. But manage from the hourly, I don't. But you certainly could. You certainly could do that. All of those things are choices. Ultimately, we tend to look at things because we want it to be that way, as being black and white and right or wrong. And the markets don't work that way. You can have a right or wrong as to what your bias is and how you formulate your trading strategy and your money management and all of that. But things change, and if they didn't change, we'd be 100% right all the time, and we wouldn't need stop losses. But so you have to come to grips with the choices that are necessary. All right. So up at today's high, highly unlikely it's going there today, just based on the price action that we see right now. Interest rates are up a little bit. Going to go down there and test a low. Yeah, absolutely. And so I would have preferred this be above 6,000, but I think that's far enough away. And just seeing what we're seeing right now, it's certainly possible it could get down there to the low. I think he's going to stay within that range, give or take today. Just because of, again, the holiday, half a day tomorrow, people are leaving, so on and so forth. All right, Qs, similar thing, chopping around here. The analysis, the same. We don't need to look at all of that. I want to look at something else. Bitcoin looks like it's topped out in the short term. It's on support. Is that extended? Oh, yeah. So we'll see how far that comes down. Middle of the range, wide range bar. Doesn't matter what you're trading. It's all the same thing. Another bad sign. Transports collapsed. And so here's, again, the adjustment and as to what your belief is. Transport did nothing for a couple of years. They break out. Markets are strong. Wonderful. Transports are finally participating. Things look amazing, right? They're firing all four cylinders. What the F happened? They collapsed. They're down 10% in 2 weeks. Bad news. Okay. All right. So that's extended. So in a situation like this, right, assuming the markets do find their footing here, things like transports, if you look at rails that have collapsed, those are the kind of things that on the 65-minute chart, they begin to bottom. You start looking at things, put spreads, right, that expire in a relatively short period of time, bottoming patterns. Maybe you can, longs for a day or two, intraday trades, what's extended, climactic, and so on. And that's where you go find your opportunities. Crude oil has been doing nothing, pretty much nothing. We've been talking about falling over the edge here, but another bad sign. Look at XLE, crushed 15%. So, yeah, XLB, which is materials, which is another bad sign for next year, right? There was this, breakout, China stimulus, so on and so forth, collapse, chemicals collapsing, steel collapsing, copper collapsing, aluminum collapsing. All right, I've said enough. Let me hand it over to Dan. And look, you need to be on top of always, what's happening. There are patterns, and there's intermarket analysis and market internals, what we call the three-legged stool. And they're going to be so much more important going into next year with what we see happening right now to stay on the right side of things and not get decimated. Anyway, all yours, Dan.
Good morning. With so many things down, I have many more longs on my list than shorts. I don't have many alarms going off, which is good with a little gap down. Look at this Quanco. Is this kind of trading like these mega quant computing companies? I think there's a positive Barron's. That would explain this strength this morning, but man, we traded these. But wow, did we leave a lot of money on the table? A Werby alarm, relative strength breakout. Looks like it's coming back in. So let me reset the alarm. Ah, that's why the alarm went off, because I think I said, yeah, over the closing price. So yeah, that should be a go with the open. You know what? Particularly because of Mondays, I'm going to change this to wait for a 5 minute high. And then, yeah, tomorrow, short week, this weekend, next. Close equity markets close at 1 tomorrow. Closed all day Wednesday. An NFP alarm. Actually, one of the stronger things out there. I mean, to have a buy set up at the 20 with the carnage last week, that's strength. That's gapping over the entry. Alex, I think that was on your list. And that's it for alarms. We actually have very light inventory. There was an article in today's journal about Mr. It's about there was one in Barron's also a week or two ago saying, buyer beware how they're calculating valuation based on Bitcoin at 2x the spot price. So the nut of it is, I think they're saying this thing is crazily overvalued. Amazon strike continues. But there was a guy on CNBC though today saying, look, these guys are barking up their own tree. Number one, they're not even employees, they're contract. So why, they're yelling at Amazon for more money and benefits. I'm not saying you're not my employee. Go complain to Washington, whose regulations and inflation is eating away your buying power. I think it was either actual earnings or forward guidance. Oh no, that was on Sam. Sam had some earnings guidance. Rum is getting a bunch of money, a loan. I don't know if that's to keep them alive or as an investment. Hyatt signed some deal with Playa. I guess you can construe that as a possible takeover. When I was when I did the video over the weekend, that we had long puts in this, and I noticed this volume on Friday. And usually, volume spikes, the majority of the time you can associate them with a pattern like igniting or ending. Like look at this big volume down here was ending, and then you had a beautiful retest. And maybe it was just triple wicking, but that is crazy volume with like going nowhere. So like I said, you know what? It could be volume to go up or down. So I'm just gonna watch that. Now, there's so many of these Climo type things. I got an alarm. Yeah, let me grab those links. All right, got them. Rocket Lab, put spread idea. Kind of a big old bold rectangle consolidation, but weekly, monthly are extended, as you can tell here by the 20 above the 50 above the 200. Alta bull rectangle with a bullish weekly. Look at this 1, 2, 3 breakout on the weekly with a void. Beautiful. Alta I like. W whiskey. Now, it would be a stretch to call this a buy setup. So just call it a pullback and reversal because it's not in an uptrend, and these are crazy moving averages telling you this thing's chaotic. ILNQ. Yeah, I got to clean out my cache here. I've been getting this error here today about unable to access cache data just on this 15-minute chart. Roku, I was watching for a bull rectangle breakout last week, and the Fed kind of messed that up. But I'm still going to watch this thing as long as it holds Friday's low. You know, maybe it comes up. Maybe it comes up here and goes sideways, and then gives us an inverse head and shoulder breakout, which would be even better. And then that'd be a core long. Daily, weekly, monthly. Look at the monthly. So you know, it's not ready by any means, but on my core list. Let's see, that's a clean Climo right there. See the fluid. This is what we define as fluid. Just lower lows, lower highs, no gaps, overlapping bars, and it accelerates far from the 20. And then I can kind of just tell here that it broke out on the hourly from this 3-bar turn. So yeah, that looks great over the high, and it looks like it might be gapping down, which is good. Again, because then it has to negate the gap down. NFE, we talked about the alarm went off. NASDAQ, it's a short. It's a short. You know, I forget if I put this in as an official swing. You know, a little questionable on the reward to risk 1-to-1, but it's a short if it takes out Friday's low. Same with LTH. Let's see, that one's in a definite downtrend, and it broke down on the weekly. So that looks great as a short. Flowers has room, but again, kind of 1-to-1, so more of a day trade. And it's, was a topping pattern. So so these three I just went over, one is a definite swing. The others day trades, EPD. It's a buy setup at the 50. You know how we always say buy setups following climactics have low odds? This is a great example of that. Look at this Climo. This thing ripped from here to here. Here was a buy setup that triggered and failed. And so you just got to wait for another setup. So now I got to turn here at the 50, buy setup on the weekly, but I'm surely not expecting it to retrace this far. But, we're, as long as the markets don't fall apart here and take out Friday's low, then I still have the mentality of trading bounces. CMC Climo looks good. Just trade the bounce, 1 to 3 day bounce. That's it. And with the holiday here, that would be perfect. It'd be in alignment with bouncing until Friday. Cenex, Climo, ANET, buy setup, another relative strength. I think I wanted to give a put spread on this, but it was too spready. But let's look again. Let me set an alarm at, how about just 113.80. I think this same. Oh, wow, it scared the heck out of me. Sam, I think this was yours. It's a bottoming pattern. I would look for a 1, 2, 3. The Rex alarm, another day trade type thing. I just didn't like it. It is a 1, 2, 3, 4. I just didn't like this. You don't have a good void. That's the problem on that one. Axta, Climo. Again, just 1 to 3 bar bounces. IONQ. Yeah, so that was a put spread. So we're only going to get filled. But yeah, it's a go. And let's check these two. NFE, gap's too big. Shoot. But that was a nice pattern. I mean, we can see if it sets up on a pullback, but I mean, just visually, that's a big old gap. So I'm going to cancel it. Orby. Place. Um, Sam, this was on your short list. You know, I couldn't give it as a swing because it's down 4 bars, but day trade for sure. Stop Friday's high. You know, it's weak. All 3 moving averages pointing down. So looks good. LUV. Triggering. There you go. 30, 30, 45. Hey Sam, is it legal to buy love in your country? Always, all right, cool. Love. All right, we're getting bounces here. You know, this could be an ideal 30-minute high day. It's actually starting out cars like drive around like they think it's a racetrack. It's so annoying.
Semiconductors moving pretty good at on a 5 minute.
SPAI. Yeah, 15 breaking out. I saw the video was up. AMD, a dog, but getting some bottom fishing.
Alex, does Apple have a a leveraged stock or ETF like the others, some of the others do, like Nvidia? What's the symbol, please? Thank you. Hmm.
A little MBST going well. Kroger, not off to a good start. XLB still weak. NFE was a gap and go. Yeah, this one of the slowest Mondays I've had in a long time. I don't have many alarms going on. NDAC alarm, early alarm, like always, but they trade short dimensions. Yeah, I did give it, but under 77.09. Let me reset it. IWM still weak here, but range down on the 15. But that 15-minute chart, 30-minute low looks lower. Cenex, up alarm, possible day trade. Limo, LYV. Now this we had as a short that I canceled on Monday. I'm sorry, Friday. But I left my early alarm, so it could be another day trade under Friday's low. Oh, excuse me. Alta, I got my alarm. I'm just looking at a bunch of things here in the other computer. Uh, wow, that NFA's rocking. Did I get that from, I think you, Alex, your list? Looks good, but EPAM, McKesson, Adobe. Adobe would be well, it is a Climo, but it'd be a Climo on a 1, 2, 3 if it closes like this. 8, still holding strong. Did trigger 64.73. How did I miss that? Oh, there it is. Yeah, my alarm did go off. I just missed it. IWM new low. Oh, we did a put spread on that on Friday. It's far away though. Few spiders, they're again just it looks so similar on the 5 minute chart. It's just so amazing. And the 15 and the hourly. It's mind-boggling to me how similar these have been trading this year. I mean, I've said that 100 times this year. Look at the 5, 15 and hourly. I'm having a hard time telling them apart. Crazy. I did a call spread on Netflix, and yeah, I saw that gapping up, so that's good. Got the 940, 945. 45. All right, so good. We have an open profit. Let's tighten this up. 922, 40. Oh, 'Texas Roadhouse. Netflix is over $900 stock. I remember that thing being about 100 and change for so long. Oh, Pete, no. Oh, Pete's on short. Okay. And then you said plug. I had that on my list on this 1, 2, 3 over here, and then I stopped watching it. I think it needs to chop around a little bit more. Texas Roadhouse. Nah, it's way too extended for me, Sam. Because of I don't know what mana stocks are. Do you mean because of the Mag 7? Um, I mean partially, yes, but there's so much a bigger percentage component of the cues than the spiders. Does anybody know the number? That'd be interesting to know. Like I think I read of the S&P 500, they collectively were something crazy, like 35%, something crazy. But I'd like to know that number. Wow, Netflix just dropped another dime. Now we're 4 cents away from first target. Oh, LYB. LYB. Hey, this will be a fantastic 30-minute low if this closes like this for a day trade. Target 50. Yeah, that's exactly what I guessed. Thanks. Yeah, I thought I read that. Does anybody do you know what it? Okay, perfect. Okay, so it's actually tighter than I thought, Sam. I mean, I knew Qs were bigger, but that's tighter than I thought. Yeah, IONQ. Let's see if we're gonna get filled. 37, 35. Only 22 right now, so not yet. And then I had yin, and yang hasn't triggered. W whiskey hasn't triggered. Very light inventory we have. Chico triggered a half flat. 51.93. Romeo Hotel alarm. Buy setup. Alex, this was yours. This tail was my only concern. I looked for a day trade. I like it. I think yeah, I remember saying I think it can go $10. Check puts again. $3.85. Yeah, I guess two spreading. Go. Yeah, yeah. Relative strength. Semis at the high. Let's see if we can do a put spread. $1 wine, 38 cents. So 237s over here. Over here. Really? Oh wow, Alex, this thing now giving me cache problems. Yeah, I'm gonna restart this over lunch. And see, it's weird. It's only on certain symbols. Look at that.